Hello, it's Laura Morley here from looloo.co.nz. Today we're looking at the story behind the bamboo and organic cotton pants that we sell on our website. Now this is a unique story from a Kiwi mum who found that she had a problem with her son and developed a product that would be able to help all of us. Sit back and enjoy. Hello Suzy, it's so lovely to have you joining us today, and I'd love to start by having a chat with you about how you actually started the whole concept of doing undies for kids.
Okay, so thanks for having me for an interview. Basically, my son had a lot of issues with sensitivity, and I won't go into too much detail, but he was very, very uncomfortable in normal store-bought underwear. He came out in with big red welt marks, especially around the areas where the elastic bands sat against the skin, and always complained of it feeling uncomfortable and that it hurt. So we were aware that he had some sensitivity issues, and I decided to make some underwear for him because I couldn't find anything on the market that was for sensitive skin for children. So I got my sewing machine out and I made some underwear that was sort of a boxer brief style fit, so loose but firm fitting, and no elastic in the waistband, no elastic in the legs. He loved the underwear. However, in terms of the fit, the style, the cut, how it sat, he didn't have the red welts anymore. However, he still complained of having of it being a little bit itchy or a little bit just sort of uncomfortable in the area. So back to the drawing board, and I researched a lot about different fabrics, and came to the conclusion that I thought that bamboo was the way to go. So I bought some bamboo, some good quality bamboo, and I made him some underwear, and he then declared that that was it. It was the only underwear he was going to wear, because all the other underwear felt horrible. So I then started making this underwear for friends, and their kids loved it. And by that stage I was a stay-at-home mum with my son and one other daughter, and we now have another daughter. So I decided that I'd make it a little bit of a hobby business on the side, and it got to the point where they got very popular and I couldn't sew and maintain a healthy home life anymore. So we decided to go into production, and so far it's been an absolute whirlwind, and we have enjoyed most of it. And we absolutely love the product, and our customers do too.
So how did you come up with all those different colours and designs? Where did you get the motivation or the inspiration for that?
I am obsessed with designing now. I always loved art at school, but I have no formal graphics training. I've trained myself how to use graphics programs, and everything, all the prints are my own designs. So sometimes I use pen and paper and then digitize those by making vector drawings. And sometimes I'll design it on an actual program. And in terms of colour, I usually just visualise what I think is going to look good, what my kids like. I talk to my kids a lot about, things that they'd love on their underwear, because I want it to be fun, and I want it not just to be about what mum thinks looks good, but what kids want to wear. And kids love bright colours. They love fun, interesting little things on their underwear. So yeah, that's where my inspiration comes from mainly.
And was it really difficult to choose an overseas supplier for you to create these? Because obviously you had to move from your lounge to upscaling to, mass produce them. So tell me about the factory overseas, because obviously a lot of my customers and a lot of people watching this will be really interested to know, how these are actually created and where they come from.
Yeah, that was an incredibly difficult part. It took probably over a year to finally find a manufacturer that I was happy with, and that I felt was transparent in all their processes. I had samples made at quite a few factories, and I wasn't happy with any of them. Some of them were absolutely terrible, and some of them just weren't quite good enough, and some of them were okay. They could have been perfected, but the factory weren't willing to be transparent in their processes, how they treated their labour force, and I just generally found some of them quite cagey. So the decision when I found that manufacturer was very easy, because it was just, we clicked. The product was beautiful. Their processes, both in sourcing and actual manufacturing processes, were all written down. Everything I wanted to know, they would provide me with the documentation. I was welcomed to the factory, which I went over there and spent some time. I watched the factory. I saw all of their processes, from dyeing through to fabric knitting, the sewing production line. What else? The printing, and I also got to see the interaction between the workers on the production line, to make sure that it was also an environment that I was happy with and agreed with. The factory also runs 100% on solar power, and I think if most people are being honest, I don't think there is any manufacturing process that doesn't take something from the environment. But what we aim to do, and what there is a big shift these days, what people are trying to aim for now is to make a much smaller footprint, or reduce the footprint as much as they can, and that's what we're aiming to do, is to reduce that footprint of the manufacturing process as much as we possibly can.
So why would you advocate us going with a organic cotton and bamboo blend of underwear, as opposed to just going with a standard cotton? What are the properties that your underwear has that makes it superior, or, the most useful for our children when we're toilet training and beyond that?
Okay, so for starters, from the bare bones, bamboo uses almost no water to grow. It's sustainable. It doesn't need to be fertilized. It's got a natural antibacterial agent actually in the fibre when it grows, called cocoon, and so this actually stops bugs and pests getting into the bamboo itself, which is why you don't need fertilizers. Cotton needs a lot of fertilizers, and it also uses a huge amount of water. I'm not sure, and please don't quote me on it, but I won't say the statistic, because I might get it wrong, but it is a huge amount of the world's water resources. Now, organic cotton is a step better than that, because although they still have to use fertilizers, sorry, I need to hold my camera better. Although they still use fertilizers, they are natural and organic ones, and they tend to use slightly less water. Now, the reason we have the organic cotton in with the bamboo is that organic cotton does add a very good structural qualities to the fabric. Bamboo is moisture wicking, it's breathable, it's thermal regulating, which is essentially keeps them cool in summer and warm in the winter. It's odor neutralizing, which is really good for underwear. The fabric we use is also super stretchy and really soft. We use state-of-the-art needle technology, which means that the needles are very small, which results in a very soft fabric.
Which results in very happy children, I'm sure.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for your time. And I know that you have used this with your own children, with your friends' children, with their friends, and then so on and so forth. So I'm really looking forward to the Looloo customers actually having a go with these undies and seeing how fantastic they really are. I want to say thank you so much for your time and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me. See you later.
Thanks so much for joining us. To find out more and to have a look at our colours and our range of different sizes, see www.looloo.co.nz. We're all about helping your kids to be nappy free.